there's been a tremendous shift that was created by the Jobs Act. Let me go right to that slide. All right, so the Jobs Act was created because of the collapse of the equity markets. These banks that were funding startup projects, startup companies, and these banks that were giving commercial loans, they all had a real big margin call, right? They all ran out of money real quick. They all started deleveraging, right? They talk about the deleveraging of the market. That was for small companies. Small companies had credit crunches, and the real estate market had a huge credit crunch, okay? Darius owned the mortgage company, I owned the mortgage company, Billy's doing a mortgage now. He can tell you that there was a time, and if you were in the real estate market, you knew they were giving away money to anybody and everybody, and they shouldn't have. And then what happened? The market tightened up, and now they're not giving money to anybody. And Billy brought up something interesting. He was talking about how guidelines are about to change again, and it's going to get, ready for this? Tougher. Billy, can you just say something real quick on that? What's going on?
January 10th, QM rules are going into effect, which basically, there's also a piece of that called ATP, which is ability to prepay the loan. Essentially what's going to be is it's a whole matrix, 2 overlays that's going to make getting a loan even more difficult. There's going to be all these special targets that each loan has to go through to be approvable. And the bottom line is if you have really good credit and really clean income and stuff, you'll be fine. But for the average person, I think credit's going to be tight. And I think when they try to implement this in January, it's going to be a complete debacle, because you're going to have one set of bank attorneys interpreting the law this way, a different bank attorneys interpreting the law this way. So in the first month or two, everybody's going to have their own rules on how they interpret it. So it's really going to shake things up. So if you have any deals in the pipeline where people are going to start closing loans post January 10th, try to get them grandfathered in, at least have the application done before that date. They may be able to grandfather in the current rules. Once the 10th kicks in, the whole thing's going to flip to the new rules.
So we're going to have another mini credit crunch, okay? It's going to be harder to get loans. The Jobs Act wasn't really created for the Fannie Freddie individual. It was created to create another outlet of funds. To me, it was kind of 2 phases. One, we've got startup companies who are startup capital. These, okay, and it's Jumpstart Our Business Startups. That's what JOBS stands for. Jumpstart Our Business Startups. Because who's creating jobs in this economy right now? It's the new companies, it's the startup guys, all right? They're the ones who are driving this economic recovery. How do they create jobs if they can't get off the ground? If they can't get capital, the capital that was available to them in 2005, how are they going to do that? And this was kind of created for that. So what we're doing with real estate is actually not the true intent of the Jobs Act. The Jobs Act has been used, it's a very broad perspective, and the sexiest part about it, the part that everyone's talking about, is the crowdfunding, which we keep on talking about being real good in tech startups. Also, you'll see it used to crowdfund a movie project, or I've seen them do comic books. If you've got a great idea, and it's a charitable one, it may not even make money, people are crowdfunding those type projects. And what we're doing is we're taking the crowdfunding model through the new rules of the Jobs Act, and we are applying that to, Aaron, can you handle that? And we are applying that to the real estate model.